Welcome again to Gene Ho. We've got him out of his fish pond. And I mean, we've been having comments. We don't believe he's got a fish pond. He's got a big goldfish bowl or something like that and a rich imagination. But you've actually got a pond. And in fact, this is a teaser, of course. Next week, folks, we'll have a picture of Gene and his lake.
Yes, yes, and then it is not a koi pond. It's not a goldfish pond. It's a real fishing place. So I enjoy it. It's my weekend hobby. So I love it.
Very good. Listen, talking about weekend hobbies, the Carolinas, but South Carolina, it's such an important state, and it's been ruled maybe with an iron fist, or is that a bit harsh, by Lindsey Graham, and it's so sad that he's suddenly passed away.
Yeah, Lindsey Graham ran South Carolina with the iron fist. I don't mean that in a negative way, but even when he was running for president in 2015 and Donald Trump was running for president, he kept all the other politicians in line. No one was able to really, how can I say this? No one was able to break ranks and endorse Trump. There were a few, including my friend Andre Bauer, but no one really broke ranks from Lindsey Graham. If he was running for president, no one crossed him. And those days are now over, not only because has passed away, but his sister, who is now the sitting senator, has challengers to primary her. So it's not the same. It's the power that he was a very unusual politician. He wielded a lot of power, especially in South Carolina.
I'm going to test you now, talking about fish bowls, and we're going to have a different type of glass bowl, and that is a fortune telling of what's going to happen in the next few weeks. And basically, I want to go through some candidates.
Okay.
You've mentioned one, Darlene Graham, of course, placed there temporarily.
Right.
I mean, is she just going to resign the thing?
No, no, no. She's in it for a fight. There's going to be a fight. She's running for the primary to be there. Now, it really depends on who she aligns herself with. I mean, the South Carolina is about politics, and so she's going. Anytime a person's actually a sitting senator, it's going to be a tough fight. But they're coming out of the woodworks for challenges.
They are. There's many of them. Republican Ralph Norman, for instance, and there's a history. But does he stand a chance?
He, I would hate to say he doesn't stand a chance. The big win for him is Nancy Mace has endorsed him. But politically speaking, he doesn't wield the same amount of power as maybe someone, I'm just going to say it, a lot of it now depends upon who Tim Scott favors. Now, in America, you have to understand that Tim Scott was a junior senator, Lindsey Graham being the senior senator of South Carolina. Now, Tim Scott becomes the senior senator. Very powerful, but I'm not sure if he has weighed in yet with this, and that will make a big difference as well because Tim Scott is very powerful in South Carolina.
Well, you've mentioned Nancy Mace. She's backing Ralph Norman, isn't she?
Yes, she is backing Ralph Norman. She is extremely popular nationwide because she's made a name for herself. She has a lot of followers. She has one of the best name recognitions. But in South Carolina, she was not that strong when she was running for governor. Hate to say that, but she just was not. She actually, I believe, even lost her own district, and so we'll see what happens. But she has aligned herself with Ralph Norman. I think the big thing that we're looking for is Tim Scott. See where he's going to fall into the matter, and then we'll go from there. He's a big one.
Yeah, Mark Sanford, a
Oh
hawk,
yes.
conservative hawk.
I forgot all about him. Yes, he threw he threw his hat into the race. Now, once again, most of these people I know, when Mark Sanford was governor, I also took his pictures. So I do know him. I'll be honest, I like him, but I'm not sure that he has the clout to be able to do that as well. Remember, whenever he's not a sitting congressman right now, he is very popular, but he does not have wield that power that even a Ralph Norman would have. So I don't see him at all making any kind of inroads towards this. It's very difficult when you don't have, if you're not a sitting senator or I mean, excuse me, a sitting congressperson or sitting something. It's very difficult, especially in South Carolina. It's all about power.
Same basket for Russell Fry.
No, Russell Fry is different because Russell Fry is a sitting United States congressman, and I mean, I hate to say like you know, I know everyone, but like I did his campaign photography, and so he is also very popular, and I believe he has a better chance, Russell Fry, than Ralph Norman. Russell has um, played, I could say played the game, but he's a little bit closer to Donald Trump. Um, and again, if a lot of it determines where Tim Scott's going to bring his endorsement to. So I don't think he's weighed in yet.
As a photographer for these guys and gals, what are you looking for? Gravitas, dependability, seriousness?
No, the job of a campaign photographer is to find out, and this is as honest as you could get, is to find out what the public perception of a person is and whether they want that public perception to be reflected to the general populace. For example, Nancy, I'll just use our example. I never photographed Nancy Mace other than as friends because she worked with the campaign. But if her overall public persona is that she's very, very tough and she wants that, then my job is to photograph her a certain way to show that. However, if it becomes a negative and they say, Gene, Nancy Mace, she looks too powerful, we want to make her very natural. We want to have her more down home because her public persona is this way. Then I will photograph them a different way. And that's, I mean, quite frankly, that's the job of a campaign photographer, is to look at how this person wants to be perceived. And that's the key to, I guess, marketing, but also the key to politics. And just being totally honest is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you to be ultra honest now, and we're thinking of the ladies. And if you've got a very attractive candidate, I mean, you've got to admit that the sexy, inverted comma, photograph could go down well. Have ever been tempted?
No, it okay. Here is this is what politics is about. Let's just say a hypothetical candidate, very, very attractive. The men love her, and the ladies get a little bit jealous, envious. So the job of a good campaign photographer is to explain that to the candidate. Hey, you are very beautiful. There are a lot of men that actually like you, but then their wives aren't going to vote for you because they're afraid that their husbands are ogling on you. So we're not going to make you unattractive, but we have to downplay your looks. And that's the job of that. That's why photographers succeed or don't succeed. They have to know what the public persona is. And this is photography for politicians is what it is.
Yeah. We've had a peculiar occurrence in the UK this week when Andy, the new Prime Minister, indeed, was showing off his wife. And she was in a dress designed by Victoria Beckham. And it was unusual. It enhanced the bumps, can one say? And it wasn't attractive at all. but it's so important. And the photographers, I've got to say, Jean, were very naughty. The angles they took of this dress, and where she was obviously very ample, where she shouldn't have been ample, they made a big deal of it.
Well, here's the other thing, which is interesting, Rodney. There's a whole other industry of taking bad pictures. If I am working with a client and they want, I mean, there are people that want to buy bad pictures of their opponent in funny facial, bad lighting and everything. It's politics. It is I mean it's what it is. But what ends up happening is the person that understands this ends up succeeding in the world of political photography. I mean, I hate to be so raw about it, but it's the truth. It's what happens.
And Photoshop has a world of its own as well, of course, now.
Well, that's an interesting point because I'll give you an example of this. The White House photographers, because they are recording history, they are only allowed to use so much, how can I say this? Photoshop touch-ups and stuff like that. In fact, they have to hand in what they call the raw, what the camera gets. So that's a whole different world. I remember when I am a campaign photographer, so I go by different rules. But the ones that work for the government, they are not so much. They are more historians than they are photographers. They're really not supposed to bend the rules like that, so to speak.
No, indeed. Mention Lindsey Graham again. There's a lot coming off this next week, and there's a multitude of funeral services. I mean, it starts off with, I suppose, the big one at the Washington National Cathedral. And
Right.
Donald Trump will be there. The good and mighty will be there. And does a sad event like this bind people together, or have we still got the left and the right, the Dems and the GOP? I mean, is it going to be tainted in any way?
I will say, in the United States, when a sitting senator like that, and as powerful as he is, it really is a time where politics are paused, so to speak. And remember, Lindsey Graham, he passed away, I think about almost 3 weeks ago, I think. I can't remember what the exact date is. But the point is they took this long because these are state funerals. So with this funeral coming up, it's been planned. There's one, as you mentioned, in DC, and there's going to be another one in South Carolina. And I will say that in South Carolina, as a person that used to live there, Lindsey Graham was very much loved. There were some people that didn't like him, but overall in South Carolina, they overwhelmingly loved him.
There's going to be a military flyover there, isn't there, as well?
I wouldn't doubt that he has the whole thing. You have to remember, in the United States, there's only 100 senators here, and out of all of them, I believe he was one of the ones that really distinguished himself because before this, he was very close to John McCain, who also ran for president. So he had a lot of power that way. And then after that, he was very close to Donald Trump, even playing golf with him. So he served as sort of the broker in between both the left and the right, the senators, where he was able to say, you know what, hold that thought. Let me talk to the president. Let me see what I could do. And that's how he got things done. He's going to be very sorely missed. And it's not a good thing that he has passed away.
The last commemoration, of course, is family event at First Baptist Church. And that's a very private affair, as is in keeping with the occasion. Another thing we've got to say in relation to this, there is a truce, is what you're saying at occasions like this. But is this midterm building up to be something nasty, let's use the word.
Yes, Rodney, flat out, what you've seen in the first term of Donald Trump after the midterms, when they lost, oh my goodness, I believe they lost the House. Anyway, that side that they lost, in the United States, the party that has a majority in the House owns all the chairmanships. So what ends up happening? Either one, he has to win both of them, but if he loses either one, it's going to be extremely slow 2 rest of the years to the end of his term. Very slow, because they'll hold up any of the bills, they'll subpoena people for whatever, and it is not going to be pretty. So we'll see, but all eyes are on the midterms. If Donald Trump holds both the House and the Senate, I do believe that there's going to be very good things going on for America. And we'll see. I believe now we're at, I think, 99 or 98 days before the midterms.
A lot of people are saying that there's too much democracy in the States. Basically, every 2 years you have a type of election. And it doesn't give people a chance to settle in. They're always building up to the next election. Not a good thing for stability, is it?
That, Ronnie, might be the first time that someone has actually brought that to my attention. As you know, the House the term is only 2 years. So it's a quick turnaround. Of course, the senators go for 6, and there's some stability there. And that's one of the reasons why the senators are so powerful. Once they get reelected, they got 6 years. They could do whatever they want and then not make it up to the people for another 6 years. That is a very, very good point. Maybe so. Maybe the term should be 4 years and running consecutive with the president, and so the president would actually have 4 full years with what it is. But that's our system, and that's how it goes.
Yeah. Well, who are we to argue? You've got an unusual guy, Adam Smith, Democrat, in favor of cutting aid to Israel. It's been very difficult for him and the family. I mean, they've been firebombing him. His neighbors are complaining they can't get any sleep.
In the United States, propaganda is alive and well. We at George Magazine have been talking about much that has been going on. We are coming out this weekend with articles on the so-called quantum financial services, which is directly against anything that the real thing going on, the Clarity Act. But with a lot of this stuff in America, there is a very strong anti-Israel propaganda that's out there. And the bottom line is, regardless of what it is, I mean, at the end of the day, regardless, when it came to sticking with the United States in this attack on Iran, it was Israel. It wasn't NATO. NATO didn't come all together and say, well, hey, the main guy in NATO is USA, so we're going to get behind USA. It's not like that. So it just makes you wonder where all the attacks are coming from when it comes to Israel, because it is an advocate or a partner in a sense, not in a combined, but they are an ally to the United States.
Well, there's a byline here on this incident. No, he's not changed his mind, but to quote, the mob changed it for him. Now, that ain't democracy.
Well, once again, public perception is very big, or public opinion or perception is very big in the United States. Politicians fear this. And so even with we've done stories on the AI data centers. A lot of money has been poured into the United States to drum up an anti-data center fear in the United States. And quite frankly, I'll just say it's working, because they get people and then they say, whoa, this is bad. When in reality, it's very good. And if there's other countries want to stay on top of the AI race, it has to do also with military, medical. So you have all this stuff going on, but in America, it does work very effectively because politicians fear the people in that way. If they are, if too much public sentiment goes one way or the other.
We've got this at this side of the pond as well, because it's been released some figures now that certain advanced AI creatures have run amok, and they've taken over, a la Hal in the epic movie. And what, of course, is not pointed out that we're at the fringe of computing science here, and lots is in beta stage. And you and I know
Yep.
things always go wrong in beta stage, but it's part of the scene that's been put forward by the press. Frighten them, they'll buy more newspapers.
We here at George, our CEO is Dave Blaze. He runs a company that's heavily involved in these data with quantum computing and blockchains. So we get a lot of we do get the truth of what's going on, and that's what one of the things that we're disseminating right now is the truth of what's really going on behind the scenes.
Blockchain worries a lot of people because they don't understand it. And if they don't understand it, they say, well, if I'm not understanding it, I'm not going to invest in it.
Yeah, to be honest, that's one of the things in George Magazine that makes it so well. Dave Blaze understands a lot, and I'll be honest, I just have a knack of dumbing down what he says to the lowest common denominator so people could understand. It's like a gift I have to dumb everything down so people could understand. I guess that's my job here anyway.
Well, as long as the nation understands it, there are financial advisors in every part of the world. And certainly in Europe, everybody says from that point of view, don't put more than 5% of your money into anything that is crypto.
Oh, one of this is one of the things that we do very good at George Magazine. We actually don't give advice on what to do or where to put it or what. I'm very much into it, reading up on my own. We are right now at George Magazine. We are dedicated in a sense to actually getting truthful information out there. We found that we've been gaining a lot of ground with subscribers just by telling the actual truth of what's going on without all the propaganda, so to speak.
There you go. Well, that's another taster for us. Certainly, I'm looking forward to seeing this
Yes,
puddle in your garden and seeing if it's as therapeutic as you keep saying it is.
I will send it to you. Thank you.